All right. Good morning, friends. All right. I am going to, while this all processes and gets ready to go, I'm gonna, excuse me. I just had a big old brunch, so hopefully I'm not clearing my throat the whole time. All right, let's see where, I gotta figure out where the comments are. I'm gonna share a class handout if I can. If I can, let me go over to another Facebook page. And then I'll be able to see who's on and all of that, I guess. All right, so I am going to talk to you guys about MetaPower, and I am learning about it as well. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out. But what I just shared with you guys is a Google Doc to print off or download the class handout. This is what we'll be covering with a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through the products. We'll go through the class a little bit, tell you guys why, why MetaPower, what it's gonna do for you, that kind of thing. So I have been using MetaPower for probably about 15 days or so, maybe a little longer. Actually, let's see when my first day was. So I did some weigh-ins. So I started using it September 23rd, so a little longer than 15 days. I did some measurements. I haven't re-measured myself. I did take pictures. I'm going to save all of that for the 30-day, my when I've done this for 30 days. But I have consistently been weighing in about a pound or two less. My clothes do feel better on, as far as like putting jeans on the first time in the fall, you know how that goes. And I have noticed a tremendous amount of brain fog going away. Like, I think sometimes you don't, it says my live is ended. Oh, shoot. Let's see if it's still there. It says it says I'm still live, but on my live it ended. It's acting like it's stopping. Let's see how this goes. Come on. Technology is so awesome sometimes. Let's see if my phone pulls it up faster. All right, well, it says I'm still on live, so we'll just keep going with it. Anyway, I have no clue where I was there. Got totally distracted. Anyway, I will do a total reveal at the end of the month. I do feel like I'm more alert in a situation. I can think better. Like I was saying, that brain fog has definitely lifted. That's probably the biggest thing that I can tell. I don't know that I can tell a massive amount of energy increase yet. I think it depends. So as we go through the products, I'll tell you a little bit more about them, and if you're wanting a bigger result, I think you need to change up the way that you're taking them a little bit. So I am just taking one of each basically per day, and we'll go over this in a second. But that has been a common question: is when do I take them? How often do I take them? All of that kind of stuff. So a lot of people are experiencing, like I said, the brain fog, the sleeping better, digestion is better, clarity, the stress levels down, your mood, your weight, obviously, your energy, all those kinds of things. All right, so I want to go through the products first, and then we'll kind of circle back around to the class, okay? So when you order the MetaPower kit, actually, I've changed my mind. We're just going to go through, I think what we're going to do today is go through this class, and then I'm going to invite you guys to come back to another class and learn more. Okay, we're just going to keep this process going. So this today will just be kind of an overview, and then we'll just keep that process going. We'll come back and learn some more. So a lot of people will say that what prevents them from feeling like they're living their best life is that they can't lose that weight. They feel bloated all the time. They feel stressed. They feel moody. They can't sleep. Their energy level is way down. The brain fog is just persistent or whatever. So metabolic health, this MetaPower products, are working in your body from the inside out. So we're working at increasing levels of NH, I'm going to say it wrong. Sorry, I got to look at NAD. We're going to look at increasing levels in your collagen. So all sorts of things, okay? But what they found when they first started testing these products basically is that only 6.8% of the US population is living in their best metabolic health, which means that most of us have issues, as we would probably agree with, okay? One big thing to keep in mind is metabolic health and biological age are inseparable. As you age, so does your metabolic health. And if you are maybe 38 or so, definitely 40, you know that all of a sudden you just can't lose weight like you used to, or you just lose a certain amount of energy that you were used to having in your 20s and 30s. Your skin starts to look different. Your sleep patterns start to look different, all of that stuff. And the reasoning is that when in your 20s, that is when your collagen and your NAD levels start to decrease. And so we're living our best lives as far as NAD and collagen go in our 20s. And then it starts to decrease from then on out. So that's why you're experiencing the body changes, the sleep changes, the digestion, all of that kind of stuff, okay? So our metabolism is more than just our weight. So MetaPower actually stands for metabolic personal weight, not revisited. I'm trying to think of the right word. There, I promise the brain fog is less, but it doesn't mean that I always know what I'm talking about. Personal wellness recognized. Metabolic personal wellness recognized. So it's not just about weight. Like if you were to ask me what my reasoning is for taking the metabolic products, it's not necessarily that I need to, or I feel like I want to lose 20 pounds, but I want to feel better in my body. I want more energy. I want my face to glow and have a certain amount of elasticity, strengthening in there. Those kinds of things. So when we talk about MetaPower, one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of us have already been doing things to work on the foundational health, taking really good supplements that doTERRA has, trying to eat healthy, move your body. But as you are on this new journey of MetaPower, if you're interested in this, I want you to think about the whole package. So you're thinking about eating healthy, which doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to just cold turkey change everything about how you eat. I don't think that that's super wise, but you're going to start to make better choices. And I will almost guarantee that when you're on this product that you do start to make better choices. It's kind of weird, but a lot of people have either said that their sugar cravings are gone or very minimal, or when they go to get something to eat, they're thinking actually like, hey, maybe I want to eat a salad today instead of peanut butter and jelly or whatever. So just kind of thinking through that. Daily movement. finding something that works for you, because I think, a lot of times we look at what society is saying. Hey, um, I think that you should be a runner. The Good Life Halvesies coming up, so you should run that. That doesn't, it's one of those things that I think it works for a second or two. You find something that, oh, it's motivating you for that minute or two, and then it's like, ugh, this is too hard. I don't want to do it anymore, right? So finding something that you really love. It could be walking a certain distance every day. It could be yoga. It could be mixing things in. It could be that you want to start training for a marathon or a half marathon. You're a runner by nature. Or it could be that you find a pool that you can go swim at, or whatever it is, CrossFit or something. But just finding something that you enjoy. And in my philosophy, I like to start little by little. So instead of saying that I have to work out an hour and a half a day, I say I have to move my body for 30 minutes a day, and I'm going to lift, 10 or 10 reps, 3 different sessions or whatever. I don't know. Totally making up on the fly. The next thing is your stress management. So yes, you are going to feel your levels of stress decrease as we're, let's make sure I don't have any comments going on, as you are taking these products, but I would suggest that you implement some other things as well. So finding something that really makes you enjoy, either being creative or reading a fiction book, or taking a walk in nature, or having a talk with a good friend. All of those things help with our stress levels. Also, limiting the amount of screen time right before you go to bed, or your amount of alcohol, or things like that can also decrease your stress levels. But finding ways to cope in a certain, like in your workplace as well, might be a good idea. Taking a break, actually taking a break from your workplace, walking out the door, taking a walk around the block, just to free your mind. And sometimes for me, it's actually getting out of the circumstance, the place that I'm at, and not listening, not having anything going on, in my ears, or that I'm reading or looking at, so that I can just decompress for a minute. The next is healthy connections. I think everybody should have people in their lives that they connect with and can talk to. So yes, I'm doing this as a live. I want to connect with you in person. And so the plan is to have those kinds of circumstances. But in this stage of life that I'm in, it's really hard with the people that I'm already connecting with in my real life. With kids stuff going on is the big thing. But I want you to make sure that you have those people that you can connect with, you can laugh really hard with, that you can go and do some of these fun things, like manage your stress, daily movement, eating right. You can do it with them. And the last is smart supplements, which we're going to talk about. Okay. So your wellness lifestyle is what we just talked about. It's all of those things, and it's building on them. It's not just doing one or the other. It's trying to do that holistic approach to it. Your lifespan. So we said that your metabolic health and your biological age go together. They can't be separated. Your lifespan versus your health span, however, are different. So if you look at the graph that's on that handout, you will see that the lifespan is the number of years in your life. The health span is the number of healthy years in your life. So we all know that you could live to be 72, but have a really, messed up, non-healthy life. It could be choices you make, or it could be choices or things that were affected to you. You could live to be 102 and be, walking 2 miles a day till the very end, this very healthy lifestyle. It doesn't necessarily mean your age. You could live to be 60 and have a really healthy life, never having experienced any major things happening to your body. You choose to eat healthy, you get a lot of sunshine and fresh air every day, and then you just, something tragic happens that ends your life. But you could live to be 100, but be on like a ventilator and all these things, right? So you get the point. So with your metabolic or with your MetaPower, let's go through the products now. And I want to talk to you about how to kind of use them during your day. So the first is your MetaPower blend, and this is your metabolic blend. Now, right before we actually started, I had just had my brunch. Paul mixed up this really yummy breakfast that he made on the smoker. And so I just, before I got in here, took a couple drops right under my tongue and swished some water, swallowed it down. It's a really easy way to use it. Your MetaPower blend has, I want to read the oils that are in there, if I can. We've got, now this is your Slim and Sassy. If you guys remember Slim and Sassy, this is, they've reformulated it so it tastes different, and it's called MetaPower, obviously. So you've got grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. So you're going to taste a lot more lemon, grapefruit, peppermint in this than you are the ginger and cinnamon, okay? But all of those oils combined are really beneficial to helping with sugar cravings, helping your blood sugar levels to be more maintained and level. So the MetaPower blend comes in your gum, your oil, and these soft gels. So if you are a taste person and you don't like the taste, or you just can easily take a soft gel, and these are easy to take with you. They are a really easy way. Sorry, I have a little sidekick in here, and I don't want to roll over her tail with my chair. So you've got it in 3 different forms, so it's super easy to take throughout the day. So I have a lot of people that are like, okay, I'm going to keep the oil at home, and I'm going to fill up my water first thing in the morning, and that way I have a flavored water, I have my metabolic oil in there. I'm going to take the soft gel with me. I'm going to take that at lunch, just as something to take to help continue that process throughout the day. And then I'm going to use the gum after supper to help curb my inclination to go towards chocolate or wine or whatever it is that you like after supper. So the MetaPower blend, it actually works to prevent lipid droplet accumulation. So your body slows the process of turning energy into adipose tissue, into fat. So it slows the process of taking your food and changing it into fat, which your body needs some fat to regulate things, to help keep you warm, to store up some fat in order to use it if you were starving or something like that. But our body, especially as we age, tends to take a lot of that food and change it to fat. And so we're reversing that process with this metabolic blend. Okay. Let's talk about the MetaPower Assist. So that is in the smaller bottle that you'll get in your kit. There are 30 capsules in here, and I will say this one has been my hardest one to remember to take. This is an herbal form. If you've ever experienced, you see that little lip right there, you could actually break that apart and put it in food if you can't take a capsule, if you can't swallow that. But this has been my hardest one to take because you're supposed to take it with your biggest meal, and it just is that habit that was hard for me to get into. But what happens is that the capsule works to slow the process of turning energy, your food, into glucose, sugar. So a lot of people will have a blood sugar spike after a bigger meal or their biggest meal of the day, or just eating in general. It's formulated to help smooth the curves, the spikes in normal blood sugar around meal times, and it starts to level it out for you. So you're going to find that you don't feel, maybe after you eat a big meal, you get really, really tired and sluggish. And even just a normal, a lot of us tend to have a little bit bigger meal when we're eating together at supper, at least in my house. Some people will eat a really, really big breakfast. That's the start of their day, whatever it is. But a lot of times we feel just really icky after we've eaten all of that. And that's because our blood sugar, our body's working so hard to regulate all of that food. It's either going to turn it into fat or sugar. And so this helps with that process. So if you think about your body and if you think about your body as a car, okay, and we are constantly slamming on the brakes, we're constantly revving the engine, over time, it's really going to start to wear those brakes down. It's really going to start to mess up the engine. You know that the harder you are on your body or your car, the more it's going to wear down and be beat up over time. So that's the same as with the food that we're eating. The more that we are eating something really, really heavy or really, really large or very, carb loaded or sugar loaded or those kind of things, our body's working really hard to take that in and to convert all of the nutrients that are in there or lack of nutrients and figuring out what to do with that stuff that you just gave it. So it's either going to turn it into energy, fat, or sugar. And so your MetaPower Assist is going to help your body regulate that better. So little caveat in here. If you are one that your weight is a really big one for you, or you maybe are already dealing with a lot of spikes in your blood sugar, you're going to want to take the Assist a little bit more regularly. Maybe taking one with breakfast and one with supper, or one with lunch and one with supper, or one with each meal. It depends on what your situation is and what you're wanting to support in your body. Okay. Okay. So the MetaPower Assist, this same one, remember it's in a herbal form. So no, the oil is not in this one. It's a completely different thing. It is assisting your body. It features mulberry leaf extract and berberine, which have been shown to reduce normal range in your post-meal blood sugar spikes by 42%. Okay, so this is why it's such a big player. This is not just doTERRA statistics. This is, if you search up mulberry leaf extract and berberine, BERBERINE, you're going to find a lot of really amazing things. That's how cool nature is and how God intended for so much to be given to us if we can just find its little clues in nature. So the MetaPower Assist capsule helps your body metabolize what you've just eaten and slowly easing that spike and enhancing your longevity. Because if you are kinder to your body and your body doesn't have to work as hard to regulate that food, your body doesn't take that wear and tear as often, and you're able to increase your longevity. Okay, let's talk about the MetaPower Advantage. So that is this satchel here. Oh, upside down. There we go. Okay. You get a package of these in your MetaPower kit, and they can be taken daily. Some people, depending on your situation and what you're trying to accomplish, are taking 2 a day. Some are taking 1 a day. Okay, so if you have questions with that, you can just message me and we can talk through. So each one, you just rip it open, pour it in a glass of water. Anything from that much to a bigger one if you want. Sometimes I will actually add MetaPower Blend, the oil, to the water. Sometimes I will flavor it with lime or wild orange. It already has a little citrusy taste anyway. Let me see if I can find the, I think we'll talk about the oil that's in there, or I think there's orange in there and a couple other ones. Oh yeah. Buckthorn fruit extract, grapefruit, lemon, and it does have the MetaPower Blend in there. Okay, so this one's a little bit longer. You guys hang on for this. If you need to take a break and come back to the live, it'll be here for replay later. You can totally do that. Okay, so the MetaPower Advantage works to raise NAD levels in your body. NAD and collagen decrease around the 20s, right? Like I said. So, so NAD matters to your longevity because it's a key ingredient to combat cellular deterioration. The result is a slow reverse in your biological aging, firmer and more elastic skin, and improved cognitive function, and more lean muscle and connective tissue. So a lot of people are finding that as they're on this, that yes, they see a change in their skin tone, the elasticity of it, their, the bags under their eyes, the tightness of their skin. A lot of people are experiencing the feelings like the inflammation in their body is more regulated. So they might wake up with less aches and pains. They might be able to work out more frequently because their body isn't hurting, those kinds of things. So if you think of your young cells as neat, tight DNA, okay, so it's all held together, everything in your body looks a little tighter and more, fit. Older cells lose their identity and they break down that DNA, which is basically known as exposure, and that exposure is aging. It's frayed edges to that DNA. It starts to kind of, get bigger and break out and whatever. And the importance here is that with the products in the MetaPower Advantage, you get NAD, which is going to help your body tighten back up. It's going to increase levels of that, which is what you need for all of those things: cognitive function, lean muscle, connective tissue, and just to reverse that biological age. Cells need two things to function: replicate. They need to replicate, they need to do two functions. They need to replicate and they need to communicate. And metabolic oxidation, which is your aging, occurs in the presence of internal emotional stressors, external incoming factors, food and trauma, causing metabolic cellular errors or exposure or aging. So all of these things that we're experiencing in the world, it's just part of it. Food and trauma and exposure to elements and all those kinds of things. It just happens, and we either age faster, age a little bit more visibly, what that is, or we're experiencing more diseases and things like that because our body is more exposed. Okay, Advantage helps at the cellular level. It contains NMN. NMN stands for, I'm not going to be able to spell this, but look it up or say it, nicotinamide mononucleotide. It's a molecule naturally occurring in all forms, and it is going to help your body at a molecular level, and it's going to direct these molecules, what you're getting in the Advantage, into your body, and it's going to increase your energy. NMN and NAD are a big function of your energy. So when we are experiencing NMN less, your energy is decreasing. So yeah, I think that's all I'll say there because there's a lot in it. Okay, so let's talk about why doTERRA collagen is different than any other collagen out there. Okay, so I will share a graphic a little later on our collagen and why it's so special. But it is, so collagen in general is the most abundant protein in the body, and it performs important roles in tons of different ways. The MetaPower Advantage includes 9 types of collagen, and it's 75% collagen peptide. So most collagen that's on the market, and you'll be surprised to know that it is large molecules that your body has a really hard time using them all. So either they're in a liquid or they're in a powder, The liquids have often been pasteurized, which means it decreases the amount of good stuff that's still there. The powder is generally a larger molecule, and it's also enhanced with sugars and other really yucky ingredients that your body is then going to have a hard time regulating. It's going to, turn a lot of things into sugar, or you're going to have a glucose spike, or those kinds of things. So MetaPower Advantage includes 9 types of collagen. Collagen peptides are a collagen protein, and then it's basically cut down into tiny little pieces that then your body can absorb a lot easier and put it into all the different places in your body that you're actually wanting to use it for. So collagen type 1 is related to skin and beauty, type 2 to bone protection, and the main component of cartilage. Type 4 is the main protein of the basement membrane connecting the dermis and the epidermis. Type 5 is related to regular collagen, arranging collagen fibers, stabilizing the structures of type 1 and type 2. Type 6 maintains mechanical function of the cell, supporting both muscle function and cell membrane integrity. Additionally, this one inhibits oxidative damage, so reversing the aging process. Collagen 9 is important to your cartilage, growth plates, joints, invertebrate discs. And then type 25 inhibits fibrillation. Okay, and then, so our collagen is sustainably harvested. We've got marine fish and a lot of other really great stuff. So I don't know how much, I feel like sometimes these big words just go over our heads. So if you are wanting some bigger science words, let me know and I can give you all of this. But basically, our collagen is bioavailable. It's gluten-free, it's soy-free, it's dairy-free, glyphosate free. If you look up that word, that is in some of the, like if you think of the blue canister collagen, it's in a lot of collagens. It's not good. Sugar-free, corn-free. So it is amazing and really easy for your body to absorb. It has 70% tripeptide fibers, so that way it is up to 12 times more absorbable than any other collagen on the market. That's craziness, okay? One big thing to keep in mind is this collagen, a lot of us have been taking collagen for years and we put it in our hot coffee, like a bulletproof coffee. This is not to be heated. You want to just take this with cold or lukewarm water. That is how you take it. Another thing to keep in mind, a lot of us, including myself, we're taking this in mixed with a scoop of our greens and fiber. If you do that, you want to take a couple Terrazyme so that your body can break apart all of those nutrients, because that way the fiber doesn't just bind to this and take it through your body. It will actually break everything apart and help your body to absorb it a little easier. That's what the Terrazyme does. It helps you to absorb everything and it breaks everything down better. Otherwise, you can definitely take this just in a glass of water, or you could take it in a glass of water with a scoop of your greens. That's going to be totally fine. Then take your fiber separately, like at least 2 hours window between the two. Some other cool things about the MetaPower Advantage are collagen. It has liposomal vitamin C, which is really easy for your body to absorb. This is a superior form of vitamin C. Sea buckthorn fruit extract, NMN enriched yeast, red orange fruit extract, hyaluronic acid, which is one that your face needs, I think, really. This is a big product out there, hyaluronic acid, that people look at to improve their facial complexion and signs of aging. And then it has the MetaPower blend. Okay, so That is a lot of information, is it not? Yes, it is. It's a lot of information. But what I want to talk to you about now is why are you going to want to choose a MetaPower Advantage system? Okay, so what you're going to find is that you're going to feel better. Your body is going to work better. You are going to see over time that your body is shifting. A lot of people experience that maybe they didn't lose a lot of weight, but somehow they lost inches in their body, and they, the before and after pictures, they could tell a difference in just 30 days. So if you could have more energy, you could have better emotional state of mind, you were less stressed. Remember, it's not a quick fix. It is slowly reversing the signs of aging. So if your body is extra stressed, you've been living in that state for so long, and your body is like really, it's either you've got a lot of extra weight, you've got really high blood sugar levels, you've got an excessive amount of stress levels, whatever it is. If you're in that, like, you've got a lot of it, you may see that over time, maybe your time is more like 30 to 60 day window or 60 to 90 day window, that you're really starting to see a massive amount of results. But I think that most people are going to start seeing results in that 30 days. Okay. So here's your daily routine. Okay. So you're going to want to, and this is going to happen over time, but if you can, I think one of the things that taking a product like this, how when you start a diet, you automatically are just thinking about it more. So when you start the MetaPower kit together, you just start thinking about things a little differently, because your brain is automatically thinking, this is the results that I'm working towards. But what you'll also find is that it's helping with your cognitive function, which makes you think better, which makes you want to choose better choices. It's kind of awesome. So you're going to eat a well-balanced whole food diet. You're going to add one or more of the MetaPower blend products in your daily routine. So wake up in the morning. You're going to either just take a soft gel with your food, or add the MetaPower blend to your water, or just take a couple drops under your tongue, whatever you want to do. Okay. I don't typically eat until around 11, so a lot of times I'll do my coffee. It's just a little bit fatty coffee. A lot of times if I'm home, I will take the MetaPower Assist or MetaPower Advantage with my greens mid-morning when I start to get hungry, and extends kind of my intermittent fasting just a little bit longer. And then I'll eat. And so my lunch is typically a salad or something, a little lighter. So I will do MetaPower Assist or MetaPower soft gel or the oil along with that. And then at supper, and typically you want to shoot for 15 to 30 minutes before your largest meal, this MetaPower Assist. So that way the products in there can start to break apart in your stomach and prepare for the food that is coming in. And then it starts to work on the food so that your body can then absorb it and transfer it into whatever it needs to be transferred into. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for now. Okay. That's a lot of information, but I don't want to go forever. What I'm going to do, for those of you that are watching for the first time and you're new to this and you're like, okay, that's actually really interesting, I'm open to that, you can do one of two things. You can message me and we can chat and start to get you on the process of getting your own kit. I will include my link, which you can also find in my profile, but I'll include a link that you can just go in and purchase this kit. It comes to you in 3 to 5 business days. It includes a year of wholesale pricing, so you can get the kit on a reoccurring monthly order if you want to. You can not order anything for the rest of the year if you find that you didn't like it for some reason, whatever. You pick how you want things to be delivered to you, if you want to set up a monthly order or if you don't. A lot of people prefer to do that. A lot of people prefer not to. So it just depends on you. And then as you experiencing these oils, you want to get plugged into our MetaPower Everyday group. We've also got a 21-day challenge that is starting on Monday. So if you're not a part of that group, whether you have your kit or if you don't, you can be a part of that group, and it will give you even more information on how to take your stuff every day, why you take it, what exactly, let's deep dive into mulberry fruit extract, or let's deep dive into NMN and why that's important, or NAD. Okay, so lots of different things that are going to benefit you in your MetaPower journey. All right, please feel free to message me if you have any questions. If you're watching this replay later on YouTube, you can still direct message me. You can find a lot of my content over on essentialseveryday.com. But I look forward to working from you. Keep your eyes open for another class to deep dive into some of these other ingredients and just to get to know the product even more. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining today.